Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Isma Amelia Novita. I'm from class A. So in this video, I will make a presentation which is entitled An Analysis of Students' Learning Difficulties in English Subject. Let's start with the first slide. The first slide is about introduction. There are background of the research question, objective of the study, significance of the research, and scope of the study. Let's talk about background of the research. Learning difficulty can be defined as a condition and a learning process characterized by certain challenges to achieve learning outcomes. And then research question. Based on the background, the writer will see what makes it difficult for students to learn English subject. And then objective of the study. The purpose of this research is to explore the difficulties experienced by students in learning English subject. And then significance of the research. The results of this study are expected to provide benefits for researchers and students. For further research, the result of the study can be used as a reference for conducting research related to this research. And then, through this research, teachers will be better prepared beforehand or teaching methods to deal with the difficulties experienced by students in learning English. And then the author hopes that other students who read this research can find out more about the problems and difficulties of students in learning English. And then scope of the study. The author focused on the difficulties of students in learning speaking skills. Researcher will explore what difficulties are experienced by students in learning English. And then the next slide is literature review. This chapter provides numerous supportive views as the reference which related to this present research and the previous research. There are review of related theory and then previews of the research. Let's talk about definition of learning English. Learning is the acquisition of knowledge about a subject or skill through through research, practice, or training. In learning a foreign language, the knowledge and skills that need to be mastered are pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. And skills include four skills language, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. In line with Johnson, Cannell, and Swine categorize knowledge and skills that are considered communicative skills involved in the use of language. And the next slide is concept of learning difficulties. Commonly used and without much specificity is for students with learners' disabilities. The term is generally applied to students whose learning difficulties at school are not specifically related to any particular physical, sensory, or intellectual disability. Although in some cases their intelligence may be somewhat below average. Learning difficulties can be caused by external factors such as environmental, social culture, condition, limited opportunities for learning, and lack of support from home. And then how about preface of the research? The first is a study conducted by Dia Sih Pratiwi with the research titled Problems and Speaking Difficulties in Muhammadiyah University, Students in a COVID Pandemic. And then the second previous research was conducted by Inaya SPD MPD and Ida Lisdamawati which entitled Exploring Students' Difficulties in Speaking English and their Attitude in Speaking English. And then the next slide is research method. In this chapter, researcher will focus to discuss about research design variables, and operational definition, also information about the subject of the research. Then it explain about procedure, collecting data, and all instrument. For the research method, there are research design, research respondent, research instrument, technique of data collection, and technique of data analysis. Let's talk about research design. This study uses a qualitative research design. This study was chosen only to analyze the students' difficulties in learning English subject. And then the research respondent. In this study, the author selected first semester students of the English department who took speaking course for the 2021 academic year at Kendari University. This research will be conducted on all students who are in a class A. And then research instrument. In this research, researcher use qualitative research and data collection will be carried out through semi-structured interviews. The interview process will be conducted by telephone and will be recorded through record application so that researcher can play back the results of the interview on each student. And then technique of data collection. Technique of data collection, there is interview. The researchers conducted interviews with the aim of getting clear and more detailed results from students. And the steps were as follows. The first is for look for students' cell phone number. The second is ask the student for their free time. The third is preparing some questions, and the last one is contact students to confirm whether they are ready for the interview. And then the last slide is about technique of data analysis. After data collection, the researcher will analyze it through the following steps. The first is identify difficulties. The second is classifying the difficulty of the data. And the third is tabulate and describe each type of difficulty. And then the last one is present and describe each difficulty. So that is my presentation. I will close by saying wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.